It's the 1st of September 2024, and it's live straight. Midnight Charlie Man Patrick, and what I've had on my mind over the past 24 hours in my head is the things that I really liked about Hollywood, Los Angeles, Hollywood and Bel Air, and the things that I didn't like. I've been going over and over in my head. Let me just, I've been thinking about these things. Now, I've been, okay, so, and because by the last, I watched a film yesterday which was based in London, and realised that I really, really want to go to London. Really look forward to going to London one day. In regard of Los Angeles, and in regard of the I was about to say the county known as Hollywood, in regard of Hollywood. Yes, I happened to press record when the whippersnipper guy is doing his half-needed thing around here. Okay, so Hollywood. I had a lot of fun in Hollywood. Much more than, well, in Bel Air. Bel Air wasn't so much fun because, as I said, I felt like I was being watched, and I was being watched. It wasn't. Bel Air wasn't a great fun activity, although it could have been. I just felt like there was quite a few eyes on me. Hollywood, you know, I'd go back there on business. I would go back there on business because functioning in Hollywood, getting around in Hollywood, and what's the deal with Hollywood? Okay, so walking the streets. Loved walking in the streets. Quite tempted to pause for a minute until this guy's gone. Fucking maintenance guy. Decent bloke, but fucking hell. This gets done here once a week, once a fortnight. Does all the edges, looks nice. Have to admit, I never mow the lawn. We never do anything like that because we don't have to, because this guy does it. Now, okay, so Hollywood. I've had my big dose of Hollywood, and if I was to go back there, I would visit some very particular streets that I would visit and just be there, because I like those streets. But in regard of surviving in Hollywood, in regard of getting by in Hollywood, well, there's a couple of things that come to mind. It's so once I've walked all streets and all that, walked all streets that I want to, and had conversations with people. What is it? What do you do then, mate? What do you do? Because Hollywood Boulevard itself, I mean, you've got thousands of tourists all over the place between Highland Avenue and Orange Drive, because they all congregate there. They all congregate there to go on their Hollywood tours in the Hollywood bus. But it's what's really, actually, no, I'll say that now. What's really interesting is once you pass Orange Drive and you walk further along Hollywood Boulevard, going west, and you get to La Brea, where the silver statues are of the women, and you cross the Brea, tourist activity goes to zero. They just don't go up that way. And we were staying on Fuller. I like Fuller Avenue. Well, mainly I like Fuller Avenue because we were staying there, but I like Fuller Avenue. And then you go further down Hollywood Boulevard toward Laurel Canyon Drive, and it's completely devoid of tourists. And also, once you pass Highlander, I know I have said this before in a previous video, I've got a little bit of a bit to say today. Hollywood Boulevard east, past Highland, you've got a mixture of stores. You've got Ripley's, believe it or not, you've got the Wax Museum, they do not have pubs over there. The closest thing they've got to a pub, it's a pub bar, they don't have pubs over there. Throughout the rest of America, I think you do have pubs, or saloons, bars. Anyway, Hollywood Boulevard, you've got a mixture of, what it is that, see, before COVID-19 hit, you had the old classic Hollywood that was still there, and you had some very interesting stores. You had different food outlets, different food stores. You had different clothes stores. And COVID hit, put a lot of people on Hollywood Boulevard, put a lot of them out of business. So we went back now this time. We went back now, and it's I think it's a shadow of its former self. There was a bit of, it's still like, oh, I'm in Hollywood. But, I mean, you walk up and down the boulevard a few times, right? And it's all a bit fascinating, it's all a bit interesting. Oh, I'm in Hollywood, I'm in Los Angeles, I'm in Hollywood. And you have stars on the pavement. The thing is that there's one too many souvenir shops. There's a couple of weak stores. There's smoke stores. I mean by smoke stores, I mean vaping. People vape a ridiculous amount in Hollywood. They do vape non-stop, right? And also there's t-shirt stores, because I thought when I go over there, I'm just going to stock up on a few t-shirts. Now, they did have a few t-shirts available, which I didn't have. However, I thought the price to pay was too much. I thought it was too much, although, however, if I get it off eBay, it's Uber plus the postage. And I thought I'll be able to pick it up for $15 over there. Well, they weren't. It was about 35 to 40 Australian. And what it is, also, they don't have all the old prints from yesteryear, the 1990s and early zero prints. They don't have them. They're all the modern stuff. And the customer service in those stores it varies, but it isn't the best. You've got tattoo parlours, you've got strange food stores, you've got, and the one thing about Hollywood Boulevard is that, get your own Oscar and get your own star. So some of these mainstream, these tourists, they really go for it. Like, get your name put on a star. Get your name put on a star, and have your picture taken. And it's cringeworthy. It's absolutely cringeworthy. And some of these tourists really go for it, and it's cringe. I think that you have to earn it, and that's it. You've got to earn that. And some of these tourists are like, oh, my name on the boulevard. Oh, my name on the boulevard. Oh, I want my name on the boulevard. And it's cringeworthy. And there's more people indulging in it. There's a surprising amount of people who are actually indulging in that. Cringe stuff. Now, I mean, after I've walked the streets, what do I do? What do I want to do? I do quality things. I mean, the shops there, and the shop owners are most of them are jaded. I think they're really jaded, and half the stores that I walked into, some of them I didn't walk into, some of them have really had not a great deal of it. There's a big army store there, and I didn't actually go into there, and there was a wig store, a costume store, there's a few food outlets, which are just really different. I think we do it better here, like food-wise, Sydney does it better, like we've got better quality, and they're just really jaded over there. I think they're just completely jaded. They're a bit indifferent. They want to make a buck. They want to make $1, and you walk the streets. What I want, like, to survive over there, to survive. So I've done all that, right? And I mean, what didn't I like? Didn't like that there was one too many souvenir stores. I didn't like paying $4.50 for an ATM transaction. I would be better organised about that the next time I travel. So using an ATM on Hollywood Boulevard cost anywhere between $3.50 and $7.50, and that was really annoying. What choice do you have? Because I wasn't better prepared, and so that really got me a few times. The quality of food, I would have loved an old-fashioned food store to go into, or some type of restaurant. Along Hollywood Boulevard there isn't. They're just all modern franchise stores. There's just up from Amobia on Argyle, the Argyle on Hollywood Boulevard, just up from Amobia on Hollywood Boulevard, there's a chicken store. It's in modern franchise. It's actually really nice in there. It's actually really good. And you've got these, you've got some of the old theatre and cinema places, which is they're fantastic. But I mean, after you've done all this, I mean, what do you do? I mean, and the bars I walked into were, I think, in the 50s and the 60s, and even through the 80s, would have been quite prominent. We're getting a leftover. What was there now is a leftover of the classic Hollywood, a leftover, and people are just making money off it. Yes, the glory days of Hollywood in the 1970s and 1980s, which continued through to the 90s, and when I was there in 1998, I felt it, and that continued into the zeros. But really that Hollywood of the 1960s, the 70s, the 70s and the 80s, the 1970s and 1980s in Hollywood. Woo! Yes, and as I said, going into the 1990s. Oh, yeah. But I love Hollywood. But the classic Hollywood has now gone. What you get now is remnants of the classic Hollywood, which is past now. Really, it's past, and really all the tourists. I mean, geez, I like Highland and Hollywood. I like that intersection. But hundreds of tourists there at any one time, hundreds, and they will venture down a street, more or two, but then they fade out completely. So by the time you get down to Vine, there's really not. You've got about 20% of tourists left at Vine. You keep walking further down, that goes down to about 10%. And the further and further you walk, the main tourists, either they've been told, no, don't go down there, it's all seedy and dodgy, don't go down there, which is not. It's just really interesting. And if you walk along Franklin, you're not going to get many tourists. So for some reason, what they do is, I reckon they go home and someone said, oh, Hollywood, what'd you do? Yeah, Hollywood Boulevard, Hollywood tour. What else did you do? What other streets did you go down? Oh, no, I didn't. Just stayed on Hollywood Boulevard. And I walked Franklin. I love Franklin. I really like Yucca. I like Cahuenga. I like Vine. I like Gower. Bit of a soft spot for Fuller since we stayed on it. Really like Cahuenga Avenue. I like Cahuenga a lot. Cahuenga is cool. And walking up Highland past Franklin on Cahuenga and then going up next to the 101 freeway. I really like that part. That's very special to me. What I was thinking about today is that, you know, you've got it's set out the way it's set out. You know, you've got all the palm trees. It's a bit desolate, it's a bit gritty, and it's a bit grimy, and it's very survival mode. But in regard of food over there, I couldn't live there because I felt disconnected from my own civilization when I was there. It's all fascinating and everything, but the biggest thing is survival. And I couldn't have my regular menu. And I did want old-fashioned food outlets. I wanted to be able to walk into them on Hollywood Boulevard and Sunset Boulevard. There's some strip clubs there, there's a museum, you've got some gyms, you've got business plate-oriented places, you've got smoke shops. For instance, inside in Ralph's, I'm walking into Ralph's. Brought this, didn't have to declare it, brought this home. This is what I was getting from Ralph's, this. And it's pasta, it's got shells inside here, pasta shells, and a big thing of cheese. And haven't eaten, I'm kind of saving it. I'll have it eventually, but I'm kind of saving it at the moment. I got by on this and the wraps in the cold food section at Ralph's. In the cold food section at Ralph's, they have, like in a deli, I ended up surviving on these wraps. What I mean by that is the kebab wrap. There's more, this big, and you've got chicken, you've got ham slices, your lettuce and tomato, and a little bit of carrot. And there's 5, 10, 15, you can get 20 of them. I was paying around about $25 Australian, and it was, because I did walk down the other aisles of Ralph's. Beside the fact that all the products at Ralph's are foreign to me, they're alien, I don't know what they are, because nothing is the same as here. And the way they present their meat, and the way they present their meat, I didn't really like it. They don't have the same standard as we have here. And I want to hit that guy with his blower. I'll hit him with it. I looked at the way they presented their meat and I was like, no, I'll pass. It's not really appealing to me. And when all is said and done, at the end of the day, I would want to be able to survive there nicely, if I had it. It was years and years ago, I did have the fantasy of it. I had the fantasy of being the director actor. I'm on the acting and directing part still. But from 15 years ago, I was like, yes, I'm going to go and live in Hollywood. I'm going to go and live over there. But I still kept not getting back there. And so, and there was this thing that was a thing that I had for years and years. I went into this dream world place. This where I would wanted to live in Hollywood, but kept not getting back there throughout the years. And I was like, I'm going to live in Hollywood. I'm going to live in the Hollywood Hills, and make movies and make movies. I'm still doing that, but I was absolutely. I think that's what caused me trauma, is not getting back there for years and years and years, in my head living there some of the time and having I would go back. If I went back now, it'd have to be complimentary. It'd be a complimentary flight. So it'd be a complimentary flight, I think. Also, I mean, geez, look, if I got invited to go over to Hollywood, next month or something, for a couple of days, sure, I'd go. I wouldn't say no to that. But if I went to Hollywood, if I went next time I go to Hollywood, it would be look, living there. I'd happily stay there for 2 months. I'd happily stay, but I've got to be doing something while I'm there. I'm still on my goal. I'm still on my goal very much. It's just that I just don't desire to live in Hollywood anymore. So if I live in Hollywood, just I live in a house. If I lived in a house in a Hollywood house, then what would I want to do in Hollywood? I would want to work. I would want to make films. I want to hit him with that. Yes, I want to fucking hit him with it. Clobber him with it. I can take it out of fucking hand, fucking hit him with it. Fucking hit him with it. Because when you walk down the street, country that maybe you haven't been to for a very long time, or you haven't been there for a very long time, or maybe you've never been there before. What is it that you would expect to see? What is it you want to see? Interesting stores, interesting food-orientated stores, pubs, clothing stores, things which are practical and really interesting. I'll fucking hit him with it. Fucking take it off and fucking hit him with it. Hit him with the fucking thing. Now, so if I was, I'm there fucking laughing out there, fucking laughing, I would want quality food, and I would want to be very productive on the day, and I would want quality food. We didn't find, we've been discussing this, I've been discussing it with Michelle on and off since we got back. We didn't find any quality food in Hollywood at all. None. We didn't find anything. Barely got by, we barely survived. And San Francisco is even worse. San Francisco has no supermarkets. San Francisco has a couple of supermarkets, but they're totally different to here. And there was nothing in them that we wanted, and they were expensive. And in San Francisco, how we survived was there was down on Sutter, not Sutter, I had to walk about 15 minutes past Van Ness Avenue, right, and into the sort of Tenderloin, right, and there was a Thai store there, a Thai food store. And I was paying about $20 Australian every night just to get by on Thai, and I managed to pick up a salami from there's lots of independent groceries there, grocery stores. I don't know how people get by in San Francisco, I don't know if people how they even survive, I don't know how they eat, because everything's really fucking weird there, food-wise, really difficult to get by. Don't know how the locals do it, my goodness, because they don't have anything there, it's just all independently owned small food outlets, and barely got by when we were there. Barely got by. I'm just pissed off because he went fuck off with that. Now, San Francisco, yeah, and also Haight Street in San Francisco. We're driving back through Newtown today because we had to go up north of Sydney. Michelle was picking up something around north of Sydney, we came back through Newtown as we always do, and Michelle said, Newtown's more interesting than Hay Street. It's got more to offer. I'm like, yeah, it does. Hay Street in San Francisco is interesting. But it's got a lot of gimmicky stores. You've got candy stores there, you've got smoke shops, you've got a pub there. They're okay. I think we do things better here in Sydney, honestly. Quite honestly, I think we do things better here in Sydney. And you've got some clothing stores, some hippie clothing stores. There's an art store there. And I said, how was that art store? And Michelle said, you know what? The ones we got here in Sydney are 100 times better. She said, they had some things in there, but the ones here in Sydney are 100 times better. But there is that on Beverly, on Melrose, Beverly and Melrose. I can't remember what it's called, Beverly and Melrose. And that's good stuff. Michelle got some fantastic stuff from there. So there's some things over there which you can't get here, which are worthwhile going over there for. It depends what you want. But I found it all a little clinical. I love walking the streets. I really love the atmosphere. But when it comes to the quality of things, you know, you walk past, I didn't go into any of the strip clubs, not into that. And there was wig stores, costume stores, smoke stores, gimmicky stores, a souvenir store. Every other 3 stores is a souvenir store. Fuck off! Fuck off! Just fuck off now. And so you had you got the El Capitan Theatre in Hollywood, but the restaurants in San Francisco were overpriced and not the best quality. I wouldn't survive there. Food-wise, I wouldn't survive there in San Francisco. Just wouldn't. Really, just wouldn't. And it was very expensive. I mean, great to visit there for 4 or 5 days. Great to visit there. Fun. And love riding the buses. The buses in San Francisco were fantastic. Rode the buses. But getting back to Hollywood, I would go back there to work, to put projects together, to film things. I would go back there to film. I would go back. I don't have any desire to go back there anytime soon because there's other places in the world that I'm really excited about visiting, such as Japan and New York. Japan and New York. And really excited about getting to London one day. We've got to do New York. We had to do it in 2025 New York because what happened was we overbooked, and what happened was Flight Centre here in Sydney were good to us, and so that we've got a credit. We have a credit which I think we're going to use. That we have to use the credit by June next year or May next year, which means we're headed to New York in May, I think, because we have to use the credit by then. And we want to do Japan for 2 weeks, and then we have to use that credit. I think we're going to go to New York. Really looking forward to New York. I was thinking about all the cultural aspects and how I can get very New York minded. Think about LA. You've got the Hollywood Hills. You've got the streets. Some of them are very dirty. What shops do you have? What food do you have? That's the whole thing. You're walking around, and they have a certain quality to their food, but everything's foreign. I can't recognise anything. 90% of the products don't recognise at all, and I ended up getting by on those wraps to the point where I forgot what I was eating back here. I got back here and I forgot what I was eating. I walked into Woolworths now and I'm like, oh yes, right, that's my menu. My regular menu is here. I mean, well, I would want to associate with people over there. I would want to associate with like-minded people in Hollywood. In fact, I made a couple of connections in Hollywood, which are quite important and valuable to me. One being Alex, the guy who works at the Egyptian Theatre. I had a couple of good conversations with him and would consider him to be a connection, a friendly connection. He was very nice to us because Michelle met him as well. at the end of the day, when you've walked into all those shops along Hollywood Boulevard and you've seen all those shops along Sunset Boulevard, what would be the intention? The intention is to survive there and get by in a quality manner. So, what would I spend my time doing there? Well, hanging out in certain streets and filming. I would make short films and attempt to be getting on the way to a feature. And quality time. Well, my kind of quality time I'm at is a pub. I like a good pub. I appreciate a good pub. Also, the Egyptian Theatre there on Hollywood Boulevard is absolutely fantastic. The best theatre that I've ever seen. That's one thing. The Egyptian Theatre is fantastic. I think I get put off by the flux of tourists who are like, Hollywood. I went on Hollywood Boulevard. I stood next to a star, and I have a picture taken next to the star. Where they stick their tongue out and they do the thing. I'm not going to do it. And then they go, oh, I have my name put on the star, and the family goes around my head, and the teenagers take their around, oh, my name is on the star now, oh. And that is fucking cringeworthy, completely cringeworthy in every way. It's fucking painful to look at. You have to work for that sort of thing. You work for that sort of thing. You have to work for that. And because I just know that those tourists aren't going to walk up Highland, they're not going to go, at least a good 95% of them are not going to walk up Highland, past Franklin, and up, and also all the way down Hollywood Boulevard, past, you've got Carmen, you've got Wilcox, you've got Carmen, you've got, and all the way down to where you've got, from the Griffith Observatory, there's a street that goes all the way down to Sunset and Hollywood Boulevard meet. And I enjoyed riding the bus, and I enjoyed walking along there and talking to people. I met some very interesting people. I went into this op shop. It must have been Little Armenia. I went into this op shop and I met this woman, this very, very interesting woman who, I think she may have been transgender. I'm fairly certain she was transgender. Anyway, I thought she was interesting. I spoke with her for about 1 minute in this thrift store. They have thrift stores over there. The bars we went into weren't. The thing is, it's not the golden era anymore. That's the whole thing. It's not the golden era. It's past. I mean, of course, you make of what you make. You live in the moment. Do I live in the moment and make of what you can in the moment? Yes, obviously, of course. Yes. But the service in the bars over there was some of it was good and some of it was subpar. Depends who you get, it really depends on their personality and who serves you. They do have a very different attitude over there. I mean, geez, music-wise, the music I heard of the Whiskey A Go-Go, our Sydney bands are better. We do it better here. A long time ago, back in about 2008 or 2009, there was a band that went to the Lansdowne. They performed at Lansdowne. We were all excited because they were from Hollywood. They flogged at Whiskey. They were doing a tour. They came here, and they happened to come here to Sydney. I can't remember what the name of it was. But I was so excited about them. Oh my gosh, they weren't great. They weren't good at all. I remember this one woman came in from off the street. She wasn't a gig person. She just happened to walk in the Lansdowne one night. She walked in, and she went, "You guys suck." And they were like, okay. Gee, thanks. And they weren't great. Our local bands here in Sydney are better. The bands I saw in Hollywood, there was 3 bands I saw in Hollywood, which were quite good. I can't remember the name of them now, but they were quite good. They were quite good. I even met, when I was at the Rainbow, I met a band in there who were very nice to me. So some of them were subpar, and some of them were quite good. we do it really well. We do it extremely well here. Okay, we do it. Our quality is, and but there's good players at the Whiskey A Go Go. There's good players. It's just some of the bands I saw weren't great. They have a very different way of doing things. And at the Whiskey A Go Go, when the band's finished, they announce there's okay, so we'll have one more round of applause for this particular band. Say one more round of applause for the Black Heartbreakers. And everyone claps. Here in Sydney, the band finishes their set. That's it. There's no announcer saying we have one more time. It's not necessary. The band finishes. The band's finished. That's it. There's no announcements. They get a bit formal about that at the Whiskey. They say, "Oh, this next band." It's just a different atmosphere. The Rainbow Bar and Grill was different. I'm sad because I didn't get the golden era of it. It's that's past now, and it's. I would have loved to have walked into the Rainbow in the wild party days. And everything along Sunset Boulevard now has come to pass. It's all becoming modernised now. All the businesses, I don't recognise. All the old things are now gone. All the old establishments, they've gone. They're past now. It's all these modern cafes and there's a couple of bars. There's a couple of interesting bars. It's just. It can be difficult to connect to Americans. Some of them are very easy to talk to, and others are very, especially along Sunset Boulevard, going towards Beverly Hills, very conservative, very weird conservative, and they can be very difficult to talk to. Very difficult. My voice is starting to. Yeah. I actually was initially going to do a video on the bus system in Hollywood. The bus system in Hollywood's fantastic. Fantastic bus system. This is a tap card. Fantastic bus system. Fantastic bus system. Also, my wallet. My wallet is... my wallet. I'm still low. I still got all this. Like my $1 notes. And this is a... $5 Australian, $5 Australian, and this is still got my. I'm going to start recording in a minute. My Mexican dollars, and my American dollars. But all right. So yeah. I love Hollywood to visit. Don't need to go back there anytime soon. Or to go back there on business. Go there to be. If I went back there, I'd be productive. I'd shoot. I'd do a short. I would shoot something. In regard to food there, hit and miss. Really hit and miss. Didn't go into Burger King. Alton side was doing something else at the time. Didn't have time. Didn't go in there. Big queue. Didn't go to In-N-Out Burger, which I'd completely planned to do. Didn't go in there. McDonald's on Hollywood Boulevard. Oh, Highland, Hollywood Boulevard, there's McDonald's. Stay out. Stay away from there. Stay away from there. Don't need a tetanus shot on the way out. The worst McDonald's I've ever stepped into. Don't go in there. Bad management, bad staff, bad food, bad everything. Subpar, poor, 1 out of 10. It needs to be investigated. Complained to management, and they went, they shrugged. Management shrugged. Because I had a stern word with them. There was another customer who pulled them up about something. He said, get to that bathroom, clean the bathroom, just saying, better get there and clean your bathroom. And then I had to go, the way they handled our food and our drink, I got an automatic, I went to it over to Michelle, I said, no, I went and got an automatic refund, and they were like, I had to go at them too, and they were like, they shrugged. Stay out of because I went in there in 1998 and had a really wonderful experience, really good service in 1998. How the times change, how times change. Um, right, and now 2024, newer generation, 2024, newer generation, right, and very different. That's all gone out the window now. It was deplorable in there, deplorable in McDonald's on Hollywood Boulevard, deplorable. You need a tetanus shot. You need a tetanus shot on the way out. There was a good Irish pub on Hollywood Boulevard, a really good Irish pub we went into. That was really cool. And there was a very, very interesting vintage clothes store on Hollywood Boulevard, a very interesting vintage clothes store, which was really quite... I went there and met someone, made a bit of a connection. Everyone's looking to network, because everyone's an actor or a producer or a director or something. And so made a bit of a connection in there. There's one or two cafes in the area. You've got Amobia Records, which is actually quite good. And the liquor stores there. Off La Brea is a good liquor store. Off La Brea. Getting quality food in Hollywood is a challenge. They make excellent street burritos. It was just about the best food we had when they're excellent street burritos. And the chicken store just up from Amobia on that same side, right? So Hollywood Boulevard, you walk back toward Highland from Argyle, there's a chicken store. And you get to refill your lemonade. Really good. I had good customer service in there. But I want an old-fashioned place, an old-fashioned independent place. But they're all gone. They're all gone. They're all gone. They don't exist. They're all gone. Great walks along the streets. Atmospheric. But surviving there. I mean, what? As I said, what is it you want to do there? What would you want to do there to be productive? You'd want to be productive. We do it different. We do it better here in Sydney. We do it better here in Sydney. I mean, I have a biased perspective. I was born and raised here, but we have it better here in Sydney. But there's some very wonderful things over there. Wonderful things in Hollywood. Wonderful things. But when there, I'd want to be productive. Okay. My voice is sore. My voice is sore. Thanks for watching. Now, I've actually just been upstairs on Google Maps, and I've been upstairs on Google Maps and looking at one by one the shops on Hollywood Boulevard, and there's about 10 souvenirs. There's Ripley's Believe It or Not. There's the Wax Museum. There's the Museum of Death. There's the souvenir shop. There's the Outpost building. There's a nail store, like a nail store. There's a wig store. There's a magic shop. There's the Magic Hotel. And then you start getting food out. There's a sports store of sorts. There's this army fashion store, and there's another souvenir store, and you've got a couple of food outlets, but they're really weird. As I said, there's a wig store, and there's a costume store, and you've got a crystal store, and it all feels a little bit, it's a little bit jaded, like it's years and years and years and years ago, back in that classic period. It was all fun. It was unique. It was great. And there's still some of that left over. There's some of that reminiscence there. You can feel it. But there's a bit of a sad feeling that goes along with it, because it's like, okay, you go into these stores and they're either like, hello, or they're like, what do you want? What do you want? And when you go into a store like that, you look around, oh, that's interesting, that's kind of interesting, oh, yeah, it's like, okay, but what else? What else is there? What else? And you've got to get something out of it, because I wonder how these stores are actually, I wonder how these shops are doing business. I mean, I wonder how they're keeping in business. I don't see many people going into them. And there's some vitamin stores, and there's a couple of, there's, you've got, I think it's just up from mine, you've got a vitamin store, vitamin supplement store. They're a bit expensive in there, but they've got some, actually got some good things. So, yeah, to be over there, I'd want to get things done. Yeah. The shops have to benefit somebody. They have to benefit people, and it's not very practical or logical to have, I count at least 15 souvenir stores in Hollywood, along Hollywood Boulevard. You don't need that at all. You need something unique to the town, unique, practical, interesting, and fascinating. It's a bit run down there in places, but still has a sparkle to it. It does. And you've got the Jameson pub. It's the Jameson Irish pub, which is actually quite good. It's actually quite good.